Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack PUBG Showdown, as we are going to be getting into game number 2 here in just a few moments' time, as well as looking at the standings as well. Joining me, Avenger and Toffees. Guys, you had a blast in your previous game. It was fun times, and we saw a great 4v4 towards the end, Toffees.
We did, which I think we'll get to leaderboards in a while, and it'll change up the kill counts a little bit, because Domination Team ends up with a very low kill count, but part of that is because of the fact that it was a 4v4, right? And they lost, and so they didn't get to rack up the sort of free kills that are not free, but the extra kills that Austrian Force was able to put down. I was very impressed. It was fun to see a 4v4. I think those teams played it very well, and it was a very strategic 4v4, Avenger, because it was like sort of two sides of a hill, and everything you would describe as sort of a peak battle. I don't know when the last time I've seen a 4v4 pure peak battle has been.
No, and I think it also mostly came down to map knowledge. Like they didn't. I feel like that both of the teams didn't 100% know where the dips and the divots and the little hill and everything were there. It's rare we've seen kind of these endings in that area, so it came down to the confidence after winning a peak battle and then pushing onto that and then winning the kind of the opening frag, or taking the opening frag when he was once he was down healing.
It's funny you bring that up, because I think that is a funny comparison between Miramar and Erangel. And we used to say, well, the players don't know Miramar as much because they don't train on it as hard or whatever. But I think it's been long enough that argument is just gone.
Yeah, for sure.
But the reality is, if this battle had happened anywhere on Erangel, both of those teams would have intimately known every bump of that fight. And I think it speaks to the differentiation in landscape on Miramar and why it's such an interesting map to play. Is even after years of playing this thing, or I think it's been years, right? It's been a long time. Wow, has it really been that long? So anyway, that said, like, they still don't know the intimacies of this map, and that's because it's so interesting. The landscape is so different and fun to fight in. I just want to give a shout out to Miramar, because I think it was a map that had kind of a, I don't know, people didn't love it when it first came out, but it's grown in following, and people really, really enjoy it now for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the guys that were advocating it for the map couldn't be played on too early. Like, I was still playing back then when it came out, and I was like, you know what, it's an 8x8 map, and it is potentially, like what, counting out the water, is like 50 square kilometers of dips and divots and hills you need to know. So I was like, I love the map, but we need to take into consideration when new maps come out and in other competitive games, it's a much smaller map. So you need to give time to the pros to learn the map before we can kind of strategize around it. But as you said, even though it's the 4th iteration of the map, it's still the same, like the complete lay and the terrain, everything is the same. There have been added some, some rocks here and there. There's some dirt roads that have been added in one of the iterations as well, and some more trees in there. But I still think it's extremely hard, and that's where the very good teams, when it comes down to them being very good at this map, is the map knowledge and you putting in the hours on the map.
Well, even then, when's the last time that anybody, and I haven't, maybe you guys have played a game where after a year of playing a map, people still didn't, like, nobody still intimately knew the entire thing? That speaks to me of an interesting map design. I don't remember the last time I played a game that you didn't have it memorized within, 12 or 15 cycles.
Let's take a look overall, gentlemen, at how the standings have shaped up from that game, of course. As Austrian Force at the top there with those 8 kills means that they've bagged themselves 18 old smackaroonies. But Team Diamond, even though they got themselves the 3rd place position finish there, got themselves the 11 kills. So 16 points go to them. So good start for especially our top 3 teams getting in the double digits already.
Yeah, really great work for Diamond. I want to shout out to them for the 11 kill points. That wasn't necessarily easy for them to do. Great stuff there. Also, though, I want to point out the Domination Austrian Force thing. If Domination had won that 4v4, they would have had 7 kills in first place. So they would have been almost exactly flipped between those two teams. And that's how important, sometimes when you get placement and you get the position, you don't get a lot of kills in the early game. So both of those teams needed to come out on top, and Austrian Force, obviously, kudos to them for doing it.
And I think, Avenger, when you look at how the leaderboard shaped up just there, I feel like Tempest really put in so much effort to get to the spot where they were. When they were going up against Smiley Face, I thought it was a done deal. I thought Smiley Face was going to have that fight hands down. But Tempest put in so much work to get that 4th place and 6 kills.
Agreed. I would love to give an opinion on that, but I think we got our game ready already. So we might be able to go that already. Yeah, I think so. Well, that's what I heard.
Do it.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, wow. All right. So let me slide closer to the computer. Let's do this thing.
So the plane path was from Val del Mar and straight east, or just between the two islands. out that you didn't see the plane pad toughies. So Valdemar, straight east, over to the to the islands to the south. So very southern plane. And now we got a circle that is slightly more north, like more than half of our teams is not inside already. Sparking though is going to finish as Mulman, and we're going to have a lot of different, completely different drops now. Because we saw a lot of teams in El Azahar, Cruz del Val, Water Treatment, La Cabarilla, you know, even Tora Hamuda, where we saw one of the guys in Tierra Bronca as well. Oh, everything is shifted. Everything is down to the southwest now. So everybody's stacking. We have 2 teams in Monte Nuevo. We have 2 teams in Chimacera and a team outside Chimacera. And then we have 2 teams in Pecado and around Pecado as well.
I could listen to you pronouncing Miramar names all day. Downside, smiley face. Moleman goes down after what was a pretty good round last time. We saw them put up some plays, and they're already taking fire again. We see no age limit dropping Mage Bane as Sophia takes him out. So NALP is taking it to smiley face. These are 2 teams we said keep an eye on. Smiley face, rough start to this one. Part of it, the plane, the rotations, the uncomfortable drop spots for everyone. But we're going to see that it seems like NALP is saying, I'm going to commit to this.
Look at this. Beamy, Ansvar already saw it. Look at Beamy. Beamy is literally sneaking up there. They have no idea. He might be able to get 1 or 2 down here. Look at this. Beamy sneaking up. Very good awareness from Ansvar. I love you, man. That's fantastic. They have no idea he's there. They're gonna shoot now, and then he's gonna sneak up on them, and they're gonna lose 2 guys because the 2 other guys is all the way over in the north trying to execute and finish off Mage Bane. Let's see if he manages to do anything here. Beamy, by the way, is Danish.
Sliding up quiet, looks for that spray, sees the man in front of him, but doesn't want to pull the trigger. He knows no point giving it away just yet. Goes for the guaranteed kill, opens it up, but doesn't get the knock.
No.
They turn back around, and Beamy, oh man, you really built that up. His success rate there, and it didn't work.
I was excited for that, but they just turned on him. Sophia was ready. Cappy just got saved. Sophia, obviously, great player. Formerly played for Gex, one of the top performers at our international events. Nice to see him move from the Southeast Asian region, trying to play and break through in the European. I've seen him play a lot of the online tournaments we have here for a long time, and he's a great player. And actually, his English is better than some of the other European guys. So it's very nice to see him kind of break into the European scene already.
Well, both those 2 end up getting executed. Yellow for the win is going to be yellow for the save, as he's just going to try to figure out how to get himself out of this position. Great early play from NALP, and this is kind of a great situation to find yourself in as a team, because you've got your 4 kills, right? Or essentially, if they track down yellow, you're now playing this map with house money. Really, if you can get out of here with 4 people and 4 kills, then the rest of the game, I'm not saying it's a throwaway, but you're at a point where you're like, all right, guys, we've got 4 points. We want to get to sort of an average of that 6-7. We can sort of just play a chill game at this point.
Right. Also, more teams moving in already. Disalytics, Sixmo taking some shots. They're in a great spot so far for some kills, but they're far away from the circle.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been having a lot of action today. We've seen some pretty good plays from them. Their finish in the last match, let's take a quick look at that, was not wonderful. 9th place, 3 kills, but they're not running. Well, I guess now they are, but they haven't been running away from the fights from what I've seen. Now it just comes down to a bit of an undergear. They are running a Tommy gun with a red dot. We'll see how that works out.
I mean, they were dropping in between Pecado and Chimacera, looting the trash compounds around that, you know? So no cars. They're running. They're literally on the edge of the current circle. They're just 2.5 kilometers towards the center of the circle, and it's going to be rough terrain going through that with just a Tommy gun. Now,
Sophia going for the sneak on yellow. He's going to go into the window. They know yellow's inside. He's got the smoke for defense as he tries to keep them from coming in. This is just going to be an overwhelming force breach, if I don't miss my guess, from NALP. They get the nade. They don't know that it hit, but yellow already going, really, guys? You're going to start this fight with me at half health? There's not much he can do about it.
He's going to go from yellow FTW to WTF in just a second when they're going to be pushing in, because these guys, they're in for blood. They want to finish it off.
There it is.
That's a nice lead from Sparking. Great play from these guys. Nice execution to make sure that Chimacera is theirs for, well, they're not going to be playing against these guys again. So this is the last time they're playing Miramar. For today, after that, we're going to be playing Sanak and 3 Rangel. But now they're really showing the domination of Chimacera. So when everybody else is doing their preparation work, they're probably going to be able to take Chimacera to themselves.
I mean, why push if you can just push them with grenades? what they did. Here we go to 6Mos. He opens fire on a car driving by. MF4 should be okay unless we get a lucky pop out of 6Mos. Not going to happen. Driving through Picado. Never a safe idea.
It depends on what time it is, but Digital Analytics, they've been
true.
looking for cars and scopes and to change out that Tommy gun for some time, so now they're taking shots at just everything. M4s, though, they're trying to get into a different position. They're stopping and staying inside Picado. It looks like they've jumped out of their cars, but I'm not sure what their current plan is, just to maybe ride it out.
We'll jump over to a fight. NALP, fight after fight. Kuhn goes down, and now they're going to push Krishaka as he tries to fall back. No age limit, please, is playing very aggressively already. 4 kills to their name, but they've lost 2 in this exchange. So I was going to go ahead and get some smokes out, look to get some defense and some reds. They've gone back and forth. Sophia will be executed and removed. He's been their star so far, but the rest of the guys from Null have to figure out how to take Dom off the board. It's going to be a tight fight for them. I think Dom's got a much better position than the last team they fought.
Yeah, agreed. He's going to try to push this, though. He can't. You know, he actually got the red out. He's trying to look for that. Woo! Nice shots coming out from Silas. 69 Horsemen going down. We'll see Krisuka trying to get up, and now the other guys are pushing in as well.
And you know where Silas is. He's staying inside of the blue. He decides to go ahead and get that number locked in. That puts him up to 5 kills, 5 points. Goes for the reload. He gets another knock. Wants the flush, but that might cost him as they come down and they knock Silas. Silas will drop. Did he get the flush? I don't think he did in time.
He didn't know.
So they'll get that res.
He got that kill now. He actually got a kill now.
Okay, it did go through.
Because it was the second knock. And blue damage and second knock damage, too slow for that. Kabi's going to go down as well. Sparking is going to maybe try to gatekeep this. Domination team did get a decent amount of placement points in the last game, obviously getting second. So maybe they're trying to contest to make sure that this contestant of the top 8 is trying to get out of that. Look at this Sparking. Oh, he's running
for
coming.
It.
Yeah, he's running.
You know what? They've got 6 points in the hopper right now. It looks like they're saying, let's go for the kill points on this one.
Oh my!
And they go
God.
and they get another knock. What a player! It's down to him. He's got so it is Domination down to 2, or is it just one of them up right now?
It's just one of them. Yeah,
just the one, right? Okay.
Yeah, Kuhn is the last guy. He's gonna try to go for the rest. Silas is already dead. That's not possible. Joneski's going to try to get Kuhn up. They have 3 kills as well, remind you.
Yeah.
But he's going to try to get the position off it. He's smoking himself to try to get some more room to play with.
I think it's a nice play by Sparking. He knew they'd be going for the red, so he tried to buy that time to get up nice, close, and personal. He wants to eliminate Domination Force. He knows taking out the first place team is also a benefit for them in the long run. Ooh, look at the peak spring. He gets the knock, and now it's down to Kune. He gets him as well, and it's elimination. Sparking is the king as 8 kills, 4 going into his hopper, 8 points. It doesn't even matter to them where their placement is at this. Look at this. He's like, this is what it takes, baby.
This is stay out of your Missouri, never coming back. 8 kills already. It doesn't matter. They already secured a really good amount of points for this. This is insane. This is I mean, we saw this guy at the GLL tournament as well, and they popped off, and this just showed how great of an individual player he is.
In the meantime, Always Rank 1 was eliminated. The first team in this game not eliminated by no age limit, please, for the record, as they've knocked out 15 and 16 prior to that. Let's jump over to Besiktas Academy as they sort of look like they might be setting up a fight. Take a look at the top down. You can see a lot of stuff going on down the bottom. Digital Athletics kind of got tangled up there, and we haven't seen those two teams able to separate themselves, Besiktas and DA.
Inside the circle, DA, and trying to get one more up there, probably missing cars. They're going to have a long rotation. Okay, let's talk about the circle it's office. We had a circle with a southern plate, right? Circle pops in the northeast. Next circle goes a little bit northeast as well. You have to think the northeast part of the circle is open because it's the furthest distant away from the last circle and the plane path. So the rotation of Tempos, great. They went all the way around on the eastern side from Los Dones, and now they actually got themselves a pretty decent spot. They can play high ground off that. See the guys here from Istanbul Whitecats, fast-paced Whitecats now. They also got a pretty decent spot inside the circle. Snip has got a great spot as well. They are sitting in a fat 2-2 split here, as Ansvar is showing us, in a high ground and a low ground with 2 compounds locked down. We'll see if Tempos managed to sneak that out and see if that is one of the spots they want to crash later, because this exact compound, we've seen so many endings around here where Snip, where Crowman is sitting together with Zico.
I like the spread from Snip. My only issue is if their top hold gets cut off.
Yeah,
or
then they're done.
You know, they're done. So I think if TMP or Tempest, or I think whoever's pushing them from the south can find a way to sort of snip that lifeline, then they could find themselves in a really putz position. So we'll keep an eye on that as that goes on. Meanwhile, Regs gets a knock up on RG over on the top as a little bit of a fight breaks out in that area. So we'll jump over and take a look at them right now. And I don't think it's going to develop too much further. It looks like it should be a knock and a res. Everybody in that stage of the game where we're just sort of hurting resources right now.
Yeah, it's Rahina eGame Stars. They're going for the same again, kind of spreading out with the line, trying to gatekeep a little bit. And now Circle actually popped south, and now they're already in their cars. They don't want to be in an edge game again. They want to make sure they get into a really good position, really far southwestern circle. The next one is the fourth circle, so that's definitely going to jump in the western side of that. Tempest is fully aware of that, so they're definitely trying to reposition up that. Snip is going from the 2-2 into the 4 split with this. The Istanbul Wildcats, Fastball Wildcats, they're also in a great spot. Sparking is sending it to the center. He's going straight to a shack in the center, actually managing to get into a really good spot. Relegats needs to get into a new position as well, being on the north. Rahina eGame Stars, look at that. They're deciding to gatekeep again.
Real quick, we did to Relegats earlier. I said that they only had 3 players because of internet issues. The notice I got, I read it incorrectly. Relegats got 4. It was Rahina that's having the internet issues, so they're only able to play with 3. I just glanced at the wrong abbreviations very quickly. So I wanted to make sure we clarified that they've got 4, and Rahina is doing what they're doing, which has been pretty good, with just 3 players. And you know, that's the downside of sort of these quarantine situations is we can't be together. So sometimes internet will happen. And I think they're doing a good job of showing how you make the best of a bad situation.
Exactly. REGS, RG, it's kind of the same. No cat. That's not good. I have a cat on my table. Go away.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cool. It's trying to hit the camera. I have a tripod for the camera and it went straight into that. So I had to fix that. Nice. Sorry about that. Hoogie Boogie's straight into the game as well. He also had some issues before. He's trying to get into an off position with this, going out of the circle to maybe get some information on what's going on here. He has some information available. He wants to see what's going on, maybe try to get some kills off that. Oh, it's Jupiter, one of the guys potentially knocked, or they saw that knock. So he's trying to clean that up, but he probably doesn't know that Relegats is on his backside, but he's spotting him.
Rahina taking some shots from Wookie. I'll tell you, if there's somebody I don't want shooting down a scope at me, it's Wookie Bookie, though it does seem like he's going a little left right there, unable to get the knock. He's got to watch out for the Relegats coming around the back, just like you said. No age limit, please. Eliminated in 13th place. They've been fighting out of the blue ever since their elimination of Domination. That said, though, I don't think they care. They will be happy with their performance. That 2-team eliminations to start this thing, I can't get over that. That was so much fun to watch. Meanwhile, Rahina in some trouble. I don't know if they can get out there and get that res. But Shikta still working against IW. It looks like they get the knock and they will get that elimination. They do take a little bit of return fire.
Actually sitting on the top here. That's great to see from these guys. In a great spot. We'll see how that goes later. Spot. But Rahina eGame Stars. Woogie Boogie actually managed to it didn't finish him off, but he bled out. Jupiter, so he's going to be in an off spot as well. Tempest taking a lot of control here in the northeast. Rahina eGame Stars actually have a lot of space. You see a compound, like a really good compound here.
Yeah. That
they might be able to scout and get into the barn area there, and they'll have some open area in between them. Next circus. Oh, it's going to go north. Are you kidding me?
Wow, great news for Rahina. Also, I like the confidence. They're down a player, Martin, but they're still willing to play the spreads. They're doing what they should be doing, even though they don't have the numbers that they should. You know, at this point, you'd ultimately have 4 on those rotations. So really cool to see. Meanwhile, MTM's going to go ahead and get knocked down. Trickio, I think. I don't know. I'll ask him after this. Get a nice little knock there as he ends up going down. And they just defend their area. So MTS is going to be very, very happy. Mutiny with their spot. This is a team that we were wondering, how will they do today? They did really well yesterday. It's been a slow start, but this position might give them that kick in the bum that they need to get up and running. Besiktas goes down. They lose Taco. I don't think he's going to be coming back from that one.
Look at that. Entropy actually sending it to this compound that was open in the north. Rahina was scouting it, but decided not to go for it. They're just trying to send one guy to try to shoot at them. BTM is going to go down, though, meanwhile. So that's down to 2 players just. It's going to be Faye and Sunny. They're going to be gatekeeping Mise and the guys from Rahina. Tempo's also joining the fight, showing more, taking more shots at Rahina again. Taking a lot of control in the northeast. Snip is still 4 guys alive. Istanbul Wildcats and Besiktas is fighting again.
I like where Mutiny is. My only problem is they don't control the high ground above them. So that could become an issue down the line. Besiktas eliminated in 12. Let's jump over to M-Force as they take shots and has to dump into cover. Looks like DIA starting to get a little aggressive.
Yeah, Rafa, BenQ there in an edge spot. They can get in. Digital Analytics also managed to get into one of the center spots in one of the small shacks, actually exactly where Sparking was. Team Diamond, what are they going to do here? They need to do something actively.
They have to go through. Right now, they're smoking up the right side. They're going to try to create a position where they know that they can't get counter pushed if they go around the left. But it looks like they're going to try to get the angle on M-Force. M-Force, though, has plenty of time to heal up. They have a much better hold position with circle access. So Diamonds have to make the first move. M-Force knows that. However, the building that Rafa's in, as you know, difficult to hold. Not a lot of sight lines here. So the question is, do they come out and try to get a more secure perimeter? Because you know Diamonds is coming around this corner very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Rafa slides down the outside. Scofa's holding that door. I think they're hoping Rafa will come out the side as they start to put a nice little flash on the inside. Wants to go in and clear it out. They need to take this building. He does manage to make the transition. So now Scofa is on the inside. Looks like he wants to try to move around. We know that Rafa's the inside of there. He's going to try to get him out. Opens the spray. Gets the knockdown. Swedish comes in and gets the exchange, though. So they are going to go 1-1 as Rafa is knocked. He can go for the res. And while the back side is looking through the window, goes for the spray, can't quite get it. He gets knocked in return. Swedish, what? This guy gets the turn. He was going for res, ends up shooting the man in the window. Nicely executed there. Has to leave his own man. There you go. So now we've got 3 inside. That was a good push by Swedish on the aid.
Oh, blue zone.
Diamond's in trouble.
Blue zone, look at this. Mamik is down to 10 HP. He just got rest. Our zone is coming up, and they have to push there. It's all of them needs to move. Even the M-Force needs to move as well. They're trying to go back to the barn area. Swedish might be spotted out. Sinister's going to finish off BenQ 5, and they're getting into an off spot, trying to kick him now. Circle's going to pop, and that's going to go from 3 damage to 5 damage ticks per second. So now they really have to start moving.
Diamond has to come in, but you know what? They've already been gutted. Their legs have been cut out. They are in some serious trouble. Sinister does go down as he tries to make the late rotation back to the barn. So Diamonds will get at least 1 out of that thing as he tries to figure out how do we get out of this blue. Nixia, I don't know if he's got an option. He puts up the heel, gonna get it off just in time. But the second he pops out, he pops down. Big shout out, Martin, to M-Force here because they played that aggressively. They had the barn. They had multiple in the barn holding. They pulled them forward to stop the push by Diamond and managed to get out with 3 when I think if they had held the barn exclusively, result would have been the same, but only maybe 2 survived. So I like that they made that aggressive play.
Oh my god, nice shot coming out as well. Nuki and Tempest are fighting. Tempest actually sent it to the middle at the same time that the Rahina did. Now Snip is taking shot at both of them. This could end up dearly just for Rahina and Tempest. We'll see how that's going to end though. Nuki's going to get finished off by Snip actually. That's Luke picking him off. Also Relicats and Istanbul is fighting. Meanwhile, Rupture here.
Yeah, from the fast-paced Wildcats, putting in some work, throwing the nades up there, but he seems pretty well pinned as he tries to defend against Relegats, but a bit of a cluster as they obviously are taking shots sort of from our team off in the distance. Fast-paced Wildcats been relatively quiet so far. They do have their 3 kills, but they are locked into this facility. They have, it's the low ground, but they've got the circle.
Yeah, they're sitting in a decent spot here. Really got to see if they have to move or anything. Next is going to get down Dog, though. Nice. That's going to open up the frag for this. They could push aggressively in this. Nexus on the solo side, on the western side, moving in as well. Meanwhile, Cypher and Go at Deagle, they're pushing in as well.
So we got Rupture going around the left side, looking to get the peek. He did get some information there, but he's not going to re-peek it. He knows that they know where he is. Relegats coming from 2 separate sides. Rupture trying to defend against both. Opens up and gets the knock. That'll be great news for him. He goes for the pull trigger there on the left side, tries to peek around the gate. Now it is a 2v2 if my math is right. She created a Rupture trying to defend this area. Relegats just has to get in without a lot of options.
Rupture, he's aware. He knows exactly where he is. He knows exactly he's sitting outside this house here, waiting for him to peek. Doesn't want to open the door. She created, might be able to do some backup here, repositioning himself. You know, Justice gonna be finished off by Subila. She created, she's going
looking to make some space here as he goes and sits inside of the shack, looking for a potential push. They go for the fight. Rupture goes down. Cyprex takes him out, and now She Created knows where he is. He's trying to use that information to make his push forward. He does manage to get the knock and has to run back. He had a man on the hill for cover, but it wasn't quite enough. He was just too low for the exchange. He knew exactly where he was, looks for the peak, and just sprays the hilltop, pops him twice in the head, and can now go for the res on his teammate. Meanwhile, we'll jump up the Relegats next as he's up on top of the hill. Got chalked on that peak. I doubt he's feeling very good. That vest is already significantly lower than Next would like as he tries to figure out, how do I get down there and how do I save my team?
Also, Circle will start moving in 15 seconds, so he has to reposition. He's going to decide to go for the macro rotation instead of the fight here. Robson, She Created will push out and try to get the kill for that. We'll see how Next is going to be able to do that. Look at the minimap though, Snip. They're repositioning. They're going to try to gatekeep this. They know the fight was going on here. They're trying to take control of the whole southeastern side here. Oh, shots coming out next.
Oh.
Connecting just one. Rupture's going to finish up. Rupture's such a good player. Nice execution on that, though. Shots coming out, though, from Mise. Oh, it's just going to connect a few. Oh, Rupture down to 18 HP. He's going to be able to loot what Next had left.
They definitely expected Next to be leaving, so they pushed that hill. They cleared where he was and realized there's only one other place that he could be as they turn there and get him down. Let's jump over to Digital Athletics. Last man standing low as he goes ahead and opens fire. He gets one knock. Can he make it two as M-Force comes around the corner? Back around the other side, Lowell gets behind the truck, try to make a flank play. He needs to win this. He wants to win this. He decides tires are his ultimate enemy. Oh!
That was the AK that won that. That was literally the AK. They peaked at the same time, shot at the same time. Rafa had the AK. DA went down. That's very unfortunate.
That's the benefit of the AK, right? A lot of players still prefer the M4 just from its sort of control and functionality, but the AK has got that first bullet hit that is just absolutely brutal.
Rafa is inside the shack. On the other side, one of the boys from Austrian Force, it's Soccer. Though he didn't push, he decided not to push. Rafa still created Rupture though. Still time for the fight. Oh, nice shot here by Sonny. Taking down Granular. Miniforce going to go on 7 though. Rupture and She Created still inside. Sonny, more shots coming out. Super, that's going to find that. That is Entropy Gaming going down in 6th. Oh!
He put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. We jump back over to Fast Pay and watch him bleed out as he just dies the dink, dink, dink of the end. Body on the ground. Let's jump up to Snip as they're playing up here on the high ground. They've got 4 alive, but they're on an edge that's pushing them into a bit of a doldrum in terms of not a lot of movement and not a lot of cover in front of them. They have to move around this left side and try to play the dead tree to make a little bit of space.
Yeah, I feel like depending on how aggressively they play this, they could potentially make sure that Rahina don't leave the shack they're sitting in, and they can play aggressively towards that. Because usually you see Rahina, they'll try to play for like a control position, but right now they're inside the shack. They're just chilling in there, not playing aggro around it. Sakura is slightly outside, trying to get some more control. They're afraid that they're going to be shot at, but Snip is maintaining the majority of the control here on the south. Rupture's still alive. Sakura trying to make sure that they have a foot outside the door. Stealthy taking some shots. That is towards the boys from MTN. Mutiny.
He tried to man mode that. The two of them were like, all right, we're not doing a peak war. Let's just do this hard thing. And they both take a lot of damage. Now let's jump over to Sakura and Rahina E-Game Stars. You saw them going through a lot of early game challenges, and they are still in this thing. Putting up some fights, man.
Yeah, definitely. They're trying to make sure this control here maintains theirs. This is very good. Snip taking shots at Mutiny is super important for this kind of end game for the guys that are sitting just with one guy alive. That is Tempest, 2 guys left. That is Rahina. And trying to get some precision here. Rupture as well from the Fast Pay Wildcats. So trying to survive for as long as possible. Luke trying to connect this to few here. Mutiny is inside though, Puppies. The other guys are not inside the circle. They need to reposition. They need to try to get in, and everybody else is trying to make sure that they don't get in into reposition. Seko sending it. Look at this car, sending it straight towards Rahina.
Oh no! He knocks him out. Easy kill there, but he takes fire from the left side. Ends up going down to Muni, who's putting in some serious work. They've got the position and been doing nothing but action.
That's a 1 HP rest.
Oh no!
He made it. Mover is taking down Stealthy's. This is Snip team just going from 4 guys alive to nobody alive in just a matter of seconds. Luke is still alive. He's sitting on the end. Rahina made sure that they could get some guys. Oh, he's going to deny himself with that. That is well played. Well played.
So Snip will go out in a 5, but a smart 5. As they go out there, they'll smoke up the shack to go ahead and get their guys up and healed and back in play. Little nude play right there.
No way. Tommel just got 2 of Mutiny.
Tommel got the double.
He popped out off a bush behind the dead tree, and now he's 1v1 versus Muver, and Granular is super far away. Trying to flush one. Flash, nice flash coming out.
They got the flash, but they don't have anything to follow up on. They didn't push right away. The second flash comes out, and now they're going for a split. Mutiny trying to go 2-2. Rupture does get Sakura in the meantime. Tommel trying to win this with 2v1. He gets another. Can he make it a quad? As he jumps up, he switches guns out. He's not sure which way to go. Tosses the grenade to try to get the flush. Wants to finish it off. Nade coming back the other way. Gets the fire. He knows where his opponents are right now. As he pushes up to try to win this 4K. Gets the first shot. Goes for the second. Moving around the rock. Mutiny trying to make a play, but Tommel is unstoppable.
No way.
A juggernaut. He does it. Mutiny is out in 4th. Pole position. Great location. But the 4 of them walked into the hammer of Tommel.
You called him an animal. This is a tank. He's a big lad, chunky lad. 4 kills with this, taking down Mutiny just alone. It's a 3-player guy. It's 3 teams. 1v1v1. Toughies, this is insane. I've not seen a game like this in ages.
Oh my gosh. Tommel, bro.
Calm down.
I can't. That was
insane.
Sick though. That was sick though. All right. Okay. Sorry. Enough of that broing out crap. Tempest here moving around the right side, looking like he wants to get some plays. The 1v1v1. You know, if I had to put my money on who's going to win this one after what Tommel just did, like he's on a high right now.
He is pumping with adrenaline right now. He is fully aware of Rupture is though. Mise though, I feel like he knows where he is to a degree where he can potentially third party the last fight. If Tommel opens this up and wins it, then Mise will definitely be ready for the next fight. Also, Rupture has a 3 to play with. Look at this though.
I think Mise knows Tommel's on fire, so you know what? You can handle the other guy. And Tommel says, I will, thank you. But he doesn't. He doesn't. I thought he had the headshot, but Rupture takes him out, and Tommel's exceptional play comes to an end. Now we jump to Mise as he comes up over the hill. He knows where his opponent is. He heard the fight break out. He's going to come up and over. Rupture's got to defend against the last man. If the last match was 4v4 Battle Arena, it's a 1v1 for number 1 as these 2 players face off against each other. The vest on Mise is very low. 1 hit. It's a Molotov network. A wall of fire is created, and Rupture and Mise know exactly where they have to go. They're forcing themselves into a fight. He gets the peek, and the leaks spring from his opponent as he pumps him full of bullets to lock up the win. Rahina E-game stars, and a smart play by Mise to wait for the right moment to engage. Use the utility to flush his opponent to where he wants him, and then execute the play.
Extremely well played by Mise there. What an execution. But that Tommel 1 versus 4, that was absolutely insane. I would say though this was easy for Mise. Like this was executed to a perfection where he knew that Tommel had to continue fighting. He was just in a fight. Rupture also just had killed the guy. So he was the last guy that was kind of unknown position, but they had an idea where it was. But oh my god, what a game. Holy, I need to change clothes now. I'm sweaty all over the place.
I'm sweaty. All right, shout out to Rupture, 6 kills on that match, so no slouch either. That was action-packed from start to finish. We saw a heck of a play there, but we also saw a starting fight with no age limit, please, as they eliminated 2 teams off the jump in Chumaceta.
Sparking really popped off there. That was this was one of the most exciting games I've seen in a long time. Potentially going into the top 10 of best games I've ever seen. This from start to finish, we just had action going on all the time with great plays, great individual plays, great macro, great rotation. Some of the control we saw some full sended. Like it was super well played.
It was, and I think some of the teams, you know, Mutiny is a team that we expected to perform well when they came in here. They got that. So I think it ended up in 4th place after that exchange.
Yeah.
That said, teams that have had a rough start need to sort of shake it off. I think Mutiny there's a danger of being like, oh man, maybe we aren't as good as we thought we could be, you know, after the last 2 games. Shake it off, get fresh, new map on the way. Martin, we're going to Sanhok next, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna get a little rumble in the jungle. When we come back from this break, we're gonna have James join us. We're gonna break down the matches. We're gonna talk about what happened and what's happening next. Me and Martin here all day on the mics to give you the action. We're not going anywhere. I don't think you should either. We'll be back after this brief break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we have things well underway now here with our final match of Miramar for the day. And we did have quite the result, to say the least. From the beginning to the very end, gentlemen, starting with you, Toffees, it was non-stop fighting. It's really hard to play games like that when you get that kind of plane and then that kind of circle where you have to migrate to.
Yeah, I mean, that was it was wild from start to finish. I enjoy hyping, right? That's my favorite part of play-by-play is being excited. And that was one of those games where it was like hard not to be excited for just large swaths of it. I mean, seeing No Age Limit Please take on a team that is no slouch. These guys know how to play. I mean, Smiley Face is not a joke. They opened up and just absolutely eradicated them. And it really comes down to, we thought that 1v2 was going to go the other way. And I think this would have been a very different game if it had.
I mean, I was kind of hoping for Beamy to pop off there, but it just didn't happen. Sophia just helped out real quickly. Cappy must have been... I would have loved to hear the comms of the two teams.
Yeah.
Like Beamy is preparing and he's saying, you know what, guy, I'm just behind them. They have no idea. I'm coming up behind them. I'm going to take 2 kills right in a second. And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then he's starting to shoot, connects a few, gets him down to like 15 HP. Then he just hits the deck and he's got like really great cover. Sophia, he hears Cappy yelling, one on me, one behind. Yeah. He's just Sophia turning, helping, and then down, and then getting 8 kills. If
you're simulating the comms, one side is like, I'm getting ready, I'm gonna open fire. The other side is just, and then the spin. But it worked. I mean, Sophia got the knockdown in return, they got the res, and then from there, it sort of just put them, like you said, on the front foot. They were playing with house money. 8 kills to start this game. Yeah. The first 2 team eliminations were literally from NALP. That's lit.
Yeah.
And also imagine this. I got to say this. Sure. Sparking made it to the middle. He made it next to the shack where he could potentially have gotten like a top 4. There was where Rupture ended up like super close to the end. But DA sent it afterwards. After Sparking got into it, they sent it to the same shack. They won that fight, and he could potentially he could have maybe salvaged that game into, you know, a 10, 12 point game if he managed to get into the placement points. But 8 points for 13 plates, that's nuts.
And a ridiculous ending as well with our 1v1.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
But I mean, even before that 1v1 actually went down, where Misa, the Bloodhound, was able to clutch it out, you actually had Tomil just popping off. I almost tweeted that Tomil was popping off until I remembered that we had a 10-minute delay, and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't tweet that out, but but it was insane, Martin.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he was. I'm also in the server, so also I'm able to fly around sometimes myself to kind of see some of the angles that the players are in. It's really enjoyable, actually. So I saw he had a tree to work with. He was, and he knew he had people to the north, so he was hiding in the bush behind it. So he was fully covered by that position. 2 guys, they moved up. He took down one, he took down the next one, finished off one. He knew exactly where the 2 other guys were because they've been shooting all the time. Managed to get a third, and then won the kind of roundabout fight around that rock there. It's just a crazy 1v4. It's,
I mean,
close to nothing I've never seen before.
If Misa is the hound, then Tomil was the boar, right? He came out, he was just nothing but tusks and muscle as he destroyed his opponents. And then Misa lived up to his nickname as well, right? He smartly listened, he gathered information, he didn't overextend, he tracked the enemy, he tracked the stronger opponents sort of in their element and took them out at his advantage. And it really was almost like a nature special. And the idea that you saw these 2 brute force fighters, Tomil, really one of the best plays I think I've seen from him. I don't want to say maybe ever, but just phenomenal.
That's fair.
And it doesn't always matter, right? Because if you're if you're smart, you can outplay them. And I thought that was just amazing to watch him do.
Exactly. With an AK as well, it's rare that you see kind of those plays where you go from like you keep a red dot from a close distance to like a medium distance fight, and to see him do that like execute that well. Like I've talked to him obviously a long time, and he just keeps maining the AK, and it's just crazy to see how much he's able to turn around with it, and also at the medium like distant fights where he's able to just mow people down with that.
And of course, you know, there was a lot of points bagged at the very end of the game, but there were also a lot of points bagged at the very beginning of the game. You guys briefly alluded to No Age Limit Please getting themselves 2 team wipes during the beginning of that. 8 kills at 10 minutes in. That was absolutely insanity.
I mean, Sparking showed what he was capable of. He's been showing it online. He's been showing it at GLL as well. He's a crazy individual player. Like they are, him and Silas are 2 players that when they turn 18, both of them, I think Sparking is still not 18. So when they turn 18, both of them, like, they will be picked up immediately. Like, they're insane players. And then coupled up with Sophia, like a Southeast Asia player that is breaking through in Europe, playing with these guys, Kapi as well. It's just a crazy team. I would love to see these guys to be able to stay together as a team, because they would be picked up by an organization immediately. I'm really excited for these guys going forward, and they will fly through this to the main event immediately or easily.
I think they're doing the right thing. They name their team No Age Limit, please. They're definitely advertising and saying, hey, listen, we're the next big thing. Watch us. And you take advantage of tournaments like this. You take a chance to sort of get out there in these one-offs and make a name for yourself, so that, yes, when the Continental Series is up and running, and it seems like we've got a big year of PUBG ahead of us, when these guys age up, you're right. The organizations have been watching. Other players have been watching. Everyone knows them. The fans now know them, because they're going to remember No Age Limit, please. And once they do pass that age limit, it's a free-for-all. They're going to start strong and go strong, and I can't wait to see what they do. All
right, gents, we can talk about it more in a few minutes' time. But before we do get onto Sanhok as well as that conversation, we're going to take a short break here. So when we return, it's Sanhok. It's game number 3 out of 6 for the day here for day number 1.